Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is Sonia Siddiqui, and joining us once again is Khadija Qureshi. Hi, Khadija. Oh, there she is.
Yeah, hello all.
So we're very happy to have her back once again. Khadija has been doing a LinkedIn webinar series with us. You must have noticed in your reminder emails and once you registered that this is a third part of the three-part series that she's doing with us. And I have sent out the recording links for number 1 and number 2. And today you get to watch number 3. And just so everyone knows that you will get a recording of this webinar within the next 48 hours. But if you have used the Zoom registration link to log in today, that same link will turn into the recording once it is ready. And I'll repeat myself once again because everyone asks this question later. So before we get into it, I'm just going to let everybody know that you are all on listen only mode, so we will not be able to hear you. But Khadija will do a Q&A session towards the end of her presentation. So for that, you will type your questions into the questions tab, and then Khadija will be answering your questions. And because there's so many of you and this is such a popular webinar, I really would like if everybody can type in short, quick questions so we can go through as many as possible. And for best results, please use a laptop or desktop computer using Google Chrome as your browser. And if you are using mobile devices, which you probably are, such as your tablets or cell phones, I recommend downloading the Zoom app so there's no trouble at all when you're watching. And your feedback is always important to us. So please do fill out the survey at the end of the webinar. And again, the link that you used to join today, the Zoom link, will turn into a recording if you'd like to watch this again or if you'd like to share it with anybody else. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about ACCES. We've been around for over 30 years helping job seekers such as yourselves. Just in the past year alone, we were able to serve 34,000 job seekers. We work with over 2,200 employers, and that number is always growing. We also work with several community partners, several sponsors, and different employers that come in to be volunteers, mentors, and a lot more. So check out our website if you'd like to know what other programs that we have going on. We do have over 30 tailored programs, which include our sector-specific programs and our pre-arrival programs for people who have their PRs and are moving to Canada soon and would like job search support before they land. We also have several programs catered to different demographics, such as youth, just for women. So check it out. We've got lots of programs for you. We've got 7 locations in the GTA, our newest location in Newmarket. And right now our current location is online. So all of our programs that would usually be run in person are being run online, and everything is business as usual. We are working 9 to 5 just like any other time. So if you do want to book an appointment with an employment consultant, just call your closest ACCES location and someone will be able to help you virtually. So Khadija, I'm going to hand it over to you now.
Okay, thank you so much, Sonia. Excited to be back. Great. I'm always excited to be sharing LinkedIn goodness with my newcomers to Canada community, primarily because I've walked through the path of being a newcomer. I'll unfold my story a bit in later few slides. But the idea is that I want my newcomers community and pre-arrival immigrant community to harness the power of LinkedIn the right way to come in front of right Canadian professionals and opportunities. And LinkedIn is such a beautiful platform. So as a part of this is the third presentation of a 3-part series. So today we'll be talking more about LinkedIn networking, but how you as a newcomer to Canada can organically and genuinely build sustainable relationships with LinkedIn professionals. So it's not mere connection, it's about sustainable relations with being a trusted partner. So that's all what's today all about. So next slide, please. So this is a little bit about me. I am basically a social media consultant, primarily around organic content creation and community engagement. So I basically knows the ins and outs of how organic community building is done, and that's exactly what we are here today, that how as a newcomer to Canada you can organically build relationship with Canadian professionals. Also, I run LinkedIn training workshops for specifically newcomers to Canada and pre-arrival immigrants. Also, I am a settled immigrant in Canada myself. I came here in Canada 2016, so I walked through the path of LinkedIn and have harnessed the power of LinkedIn to launch my own business, to from being a job seeker to landing in my first corporate job within 6 months, and then starting my own business. So LinkedIn is a beautiful platform to harness the power, but in the right way that we'll be speaking about today. So next slide, please. Yeah. So I always start my presentation with my newcomers community is basically with the power of mindset. Basically, mindset drives whatever we do. Mindset drives or frames perceptions in whatever action that we want to take. So primarily what my message when it comes to telling the mindset that when you come in Canada, when you're planning to come in Canada as a pre-arrival immigrant, be ready to unlearn. What might have worked like very remarkably in your origin country will not work over here, because every environment has its own external condition, has its own dynamics. So what predominantly when it comes to networking worked in origin country will not work over here. So be ready to unlearn in today's session, and just overall as a newcomer, be ready to unlearn what worked in your origin country, be ready to adapt and learn what works here in Canada. That will lead towards your stellar and accelerated growth and evolution here in Canada. So you will be much closer to your professional success if you're ready to have that growth mindset of unlearning, learning, growing, and evolving. And be ready to be resilient, and be ready to be friend of fear of unknown, because when you are in that space that you are ready to explore that space of unknown, you basically are giving yourself an opportunity to grow and evolve. And I think so that is what growth mindset is. So be ready and prepare your mind for a roller coaster of 45 to 30 minutes of a beautiful presentation to learn new things about how you network here in Canada. Next slide, please. Okay, so the first fact, now the mind needs validation, it needs numbers. So after talking about the mindset part, basic numbers that I want to share over here in North America specifically, 20% of the jobs get advertised. So that might be the modus operandi, how it works in your origin countries, that you go, that's the user, that's a job seeker experience. You go on online portals or advertise jobs printed on newspaper or any other platform, and you go customize your resume and you just apply. Here in Canada or North America specifically, that is only 20% of the jobs. 80% of the jobs are basically getting filled up through trusted referrals, what we call here in North America, hidden job market. So I want you to leverage the power of LinkedIn networking to tap that 80% of hidden job market. And what is that hidden job market? I'll let you know. Can we go to the next slide, please? So what is basically a hidden job market? It can be a very new term for newcomers to Canada, pre-arrival immigrants. So hidden job market is basically the positions or jobs which are never published, and they're never advertised online, and they get filled up through trusted referrals. Basically, what is a trusted referral? That somebody is in the organization or in the network of the hiring decision maker are recommending a certain person. And it is a huge way to hire people, and that's where the 20% of hidden job markets gets filled up. So if someone knows someone, they will refer him to the hiring manager or the decision makers, and they will trust them more. So how does the mindset of decision maker works over here? And I think so generally how it works, you need an assurance that whoever you are hiring has the right credentials or the skill set. And if you are using the earned trust of our trusted partner, you will be you are putting yourself in a better position in front of the right decision maker. So how you can earn a trusted referral, LinkedIn networking is a beautiful tool for it. And how you can do it, today I'll be talking about it. So in a way, through LinkedIn networking, through your LinkedIn networking, you can become a trusted partners of right decision makers to come in front of right hiring managers. And people here loves getting trusted referrals. The other day I was hearing one of the recruiters, she was saying that whenever I publish any, like whenever it is decided that the company is going to open a position, everybody goes around in the office and say that I'm opening this position, do you know anyone, do you know? So referral is basically a big source here over here in North America to fill in positions basically. So next slide please. Okay, so basically what you are looking right over here is basically a 3-step approach, which I have coined. I want all newcomers to follow this approach, because what I feel when because I have been interacting, guiding and mentoring newcomers to Canada since 2018, because I host my own newcomers to Canada events and I post content around. So I have an audience. So I really know the pain points and I have walked through the path. So so what I have found out that newcomers, what they are doing all the things at a time. So they get overwhelmed and frustrated that LinkedIn is not working for me. So what I've done, I've created and I've coined this process for newcomers to Canada to follow and take it as a step. Step 1 is basically LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn profile is like kind of your like LinkedIn home, which you beef up. There are more than 10 plus sections that LinkedIn offers you, where you basically speak about your yesterday credentials. So what you do, you build a narrative, you build a professional story, and you project yourself as an online trusted professional in whatever space you are in. So you make a beautiful, beefed up, optimized, branded LinkedIn home for your professional past experiences. Then the second step is basically that once your LinkedIn home is speaking of your professional awesomeness based on your past experiencing skills and recommendations, what I strongly suggest that you should create content. Now, what is content is basically the post, updates or articles that you create on LinkedIn, hosted on LinkedIn platform. So here what you can start doing, you can start creating micro professional contents in your space, that if somebody come and read that content, read that post, will clearly say that, wow, this person can walk the talk as whatever job title you are targeting to land your ideal job in. So that's a beautiful way how newcomers or pre-arrival immigrants can start doing that even before landing. So these are the 2 steps I say. It needs to be thoughtfully done, because it's not an overnight job. You need to be careful. You need to have a goal. You need to chalk out what topics you will write about. You need to fill out a beautiful LinkedIn 10 sections. So almost a month is taken in both of them. But if you have more energy, time and resources, you can do all of that in a week. Then the third step comes when your home is ready with your yesterday credentials and current content which speaks of your expertise. Now you're ready to host the party. That's when the LinkedIn networking comes in. So the first step and the second step I have already done, and as Sonia mentioned, she included the recordings, but again, those is just a 45 minutes presentation, just the tip of the iceberg which I covered. I always recommend everyone to connect with me. Even beyond this, we can continue the conversation, because I do create daily content around all these 3 areas. So today I will be talking about LinkedIn networking predominantly. So can we have the second slide, please? Okay, so let's talk about why LinkedIn. Like Khatija has been telling us about the mindset part, about the numbers part. Like, so let's look from the perspective of the recruiter. Now, this is a snapshot that I have taken from a very good content creator that I follow on LinkedIn, and also a very valued connection, Zarina. She is basically a recruiter at Amazon. Now she works, she takes care of the North American recruitment, including the US as well as some Canadian. So I'm not specifically which geographics, but definitely she takes care of the North American spheres recruitments. And she predominantly, in her post, this is a post, a screenshot of a post that she did on LinkedIn, and she's clearly telling the importance of LinkedIn. She's saying, I stalk my candidates on LinkedIn. Or okay, stalk might be a strong word, but I do look into their profile. She's leveling it down that I go through their comments, posts, and she goes over the companies, LinkedIn company that they are following. She goes into what LinkedIn groups they are active in. She does make sure that the resume that is submitted is matching with LinkedIn profile. So clearly, this recruiter, Zarina, is clearly telling that LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn content, and LinkedIn networking that you do in groups with other industry specific people, that all is looked upon when it comes to shortlisting a candidate. And even further, she said that in one of her posts, she said that sometimes I myself find candidates who have never applied for the jobs, and I tell them that you might be a good fit for this position. So Zarina, just like Zarina, recruiters over here in Canada look over your LinkedIn profile and LinkedIn activity as a part of finding talent and hiring. So LinkedIn, hands down, is an undisputed marketplace that you need to create your digital presence and you need to network. Clearly, hands down, you need to do that. Can we have the next slide, please? Yeah, I have covered that. Can we yeah. So while I was like when I reshared that post, and then Zarina and I had a conversation in the comments section. So Zarina said that thank you for sharing it with your network, Khatija. And further, she's saying that how she evaluates candidates over their online LinkedIn activity. Like not only she creates an impression that this person is technically very fit for this position, but also she is able to assess the personal values, because here in North America, cultural fit is a really important basis of finalizing a candidate. So every company has its own cultural values that they follow. Like for example, she is saying that Amazon supports diversity, veteran hiring, and blah 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 blah. And she said that the activity section of LinkedIn exhibits basically what personal values that person or the LinkedIn human carries, and when there is a good cultural fit, then they go ahead with that candidate or reach out to that candidate. So just letting you know that how important LinkedIn is to come in front of right people, to come in front of right opportunities, even to pitch in front of right decision makers. Can we move ahead, please? Yeah. So now we are all convinced. I gave you a recruiter's perspective. I told you how important it is when it comes to your first job search goal here in Canada. So you can start doing that on LinkedIn as a pre-arrival immigrant. So let's go into, again, validate our minds. Let's go into number. These are the latest stats that I've picked up. I think so in July 2020, up till July 2020, there are 706 plus million professional members global. It's a global community. And only 50% are right now monthly active users. By monthly active users means in a month they come and they check their activity. And specifically, during COVID-19, Canadian professionals have activated their LinkedIn profile. So there are 17 million Canadian professionals here on LinkedIn. So such a beautiful opportunity that you can use and start coming in front of right people and networking with them, even as a pre-arrival immigrant. And yes, you can network with them as a pre-arrival immigrant in a certain way. Because a lot of you might be thinking that when we say that we are a newcomer to Canada, we haven't landed, you might be putting themselves off. There is a certain way of around how you can brand yourself. And I've covered that up in the first and the second presentations, which already recorded link has been sent to you. But again, as I said, those presentations were tip of the iceberg. You can further follow me on LinkedIn as I share daily content. But again, important is that LinkedIn is the right platform. You need to invest time as a pre-arrival immigrant or even as a landed immigrant. Right now, of the total base, only 3 to 5% are creating content. By content, I mean that these are the people who are basically they are active with their digital presence by creating updates. So there is a huge opportunity for you as an early adapter to come in front of right people, because market is not saturated, and even in your niche space you have a huge opportunity. Further on, Canadian employers uses LinkedIn to find talent. Recruiter scans LinkedIn profile, post, and engagement as a part of shortlisting activity. And LinkedIn in North America, and I think so worldwide, has gone beyond job hunting and listing. You can create a professional online brand with a beautiful digital presence, which creates a wow factor in front of the decision makers that this person has a thought leadership in this space. So I strongly recommend harness the power of LinkedIn. So next slide, please. Okay, so the first step is LinkedIn profile optimization. So those of you who are completely beginners and starters on LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn profile is basically just like it's your LinkedIn home with your own name, and you have to beef up 10 plus sections to which creates a narrative of your professional story basically. So this I have covered up in one of the presentations. Links have already been sent to you. Next slide, please. This is the second step, LinkedIn content creation. I want all newcomers to Canada and pre-arrival immigrants to create intentional content. Now, when you come on a platform, on a social media platform, we can get carried away. Like, right? We are there to spend only 1 hour, but we spend like 15 hours, right? So whatever time, energy, and resources you have, be intentional of what you are creating. You need to have a goal, and you need to be intentional in what you create needs to like fulfill that goal. So this is covered in my second presentation, which again the link has been sent to you. Third step, please. Next slide, please. Okay, now this is the third step. This is what I'll be covering in detail today, that how after you have a neat LinkedIn optimized profile, you have intentional LinkedIn posts which speaks of your thought leadership. Now you need to host the party in getting the right eyeballs coming onto your LinkedIn profile, and that is LinkedIn networking. Now, if you see the visual, this is such a powerful visual which I picked up from LinkedIn itself. I have it is basically from socialimpact.linkedin.ca, and this is exactly what the power of LinkedIn networking is. Overall networking, when you basically, if you have an active network, what you are doing, you're coming in front of right people, and you are unlocking opportunities and pushing yourself to come in front of the right job, which would never have been published. And that's what hidden job market is. So I want you to harness this power of LinkedIn. Don't take pandemic or self-isolation as an excuse, because LinkedIn is an online platform. You can start doing that from your home right now at this instant. So I want you to build relationship and activate your network without even meeting them in person. I think so this is an opportunity for pre-arrival immigrants, or even newcomers to Canada immigrants recently landed who are still in the phase of settling down, finding their new home. So whatever time you get, activate your presence on LinkedIn, because you don't need to meet them in person. Okay, so don't isolate yourself as an excuse not to network. LinkedIn is providing you an opportunity to, this is a good time to get on LinkedIn. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so what specifically is networking? I want you to tell your mind, because networking, when we come from our origin countries, networking is not, we don't take networking in the same mindset frame. I want you to tell your brain, and I tell them this to my brain even after 4 years of landing. Networking is an investment tool for your professional goal. As an entrepreneur, as a job seeker, as a transitional career professional who is looking for the next jump, networking is a investment tool for your professional goal. It can be offline, it can be online. So first of all, you have to unlearn, because networking in our origin countries might not be that powerful tool, but here in Canada, networking is an investment tool for your professional goals. So here, once you have attuned your mindset that it is a investment, you need to dedicate time for it. Just like we did take dedication of time, we have to do this stuff. You have to dedicate time for networking without any distractions of checking emails XYZ. So always tell your mind networking is an investment and you need to dedicate undistracted time. Here again in North America, you need to imagine yourself as a stranger knocking someone's door, and you are there with the sole objective of having sustainable relationship building. You are not knocking their doors for one time. You want to be their friends forever. That is the mindset I want you to have when you are exploring networking online or offline for your professional goals. Focus on making a trusted referral partners in long run via sustainable relationship building. So when this is your goal, for networking online or offline, you will reap a lot of benefits, because you're approaching the other person to make him a trusted referral partner, and that's where you're unlocking that hidden job opportunities. This is when the other person will remember you as that Khatija is a social media consultant, Khatija is an online LinkedIn trainer. She or he will remember me, and whenever in his or her network any opportunity came, I will be the first person and he will refer me. So what I'm doing, I'm investing my time to make other person my trusted referral partners, and he will start bringing in inbound opportunities to me. So that is how LinkedIn or any networking in North America works. So just letting you know about a networking mindset part so that you can know how LinkedIn networking works. Can we have next slide, please? Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about Canadian networking. I know the visuals are coming a little distorted of the formatting, but it's fine. Let's concentrate on the gist. Networking, I've already told you, networking is professional investment here in Canada. You need to take networking as a mini project around your professional networking goals. LinkedIn networking is all about relationship building. If you're coming on LinkedIn just to follow someone or just to send a customized connection request, I want to be in your network, no, LinkedIn networking outcomes will never work for you. You cannot earn a trusted referral partner with just one time sending connection request. Thank you for accepting my connection request. No, it's not, doesn't work like this. LinkedIn networking is all about relationship building, which happens in layer in different ways over a period of time. Just imagine yourself. Personally, when you want to become friends with someone, does it happen overnight or does it happen in one meeting? No. Friendship or networking is all about mutual respect and care, which you give to the other person over a period of time. And that's exactly how LinkedIn networking works. Can we have next slide, please? Great. So this is a stats that I took from LinkedIn Guide to Networking. Now, this is a LinkedIn page. You can start following this because, again, you want to learn about how LinkedIn networking works here in North America. So they carried out a poll on what is the most common way you meet new professionals. So I thought it was so relevant, and it was just done a week ago. So this is so relevant for a newcomers to Canada community. Right now this is a poll done by North American professionals, predominantly by North American professionals. So what they are saying is that one of the most common way they welcome new professionals to come in their network is that if I reach out directly to them. So if you reach out directly to any qualified Canadian professional, this is they would welcome you, because 50% says that they themselves would reach out to another person if they have any professional goal. So if you are approaching any Canadian professional, you will be welcomed. But again, be ready for some rejection and don't take it personally. But 5 out of 10 people will welcome you. Can we have next slide, please? Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about, because I told you on LinkedIn, if you're connecting with the other person, you need to know how LinkedIn works. You need to know the LinkedIn etiquettes. You need to know the perception of how the other person will react. So this is a screenshot of Shelly. Elska, she is one of a valued connection I follow to learn and know more about LinkedIn. She is clearly telling in this snapshot that when you are connecting with the other person through a connection request, please, please, please highly customize your connection request. You should not introduce yourself someone who comes out as being salesy, someone who comes out as being desperate, someone who comes out with a big ask. And what is a big ask? Can you please refer me to someone? Can you please review my resume? Can you please review my LinkedIn profile? Now, these are very, very big asks. Now, if you knock someone's door as a stranger, nobody would want to invest time on a stranger with such a big ask. Of course, you will be ignored. Get ready for that rejection if you are doing this unintentionally. Now, I've told you, intentionally don't do this. How you can approach this, I'll be telling you in next slide. So can we have the next slide, please? Yeah. So, what I want you to think is that this was a beautiful slide that I saw on LinkedIn. The inability to hear someone's pain is often why you are unheard. So when we're talking about rejection, make sure that you have the ability to hear about the person you are connecting with, what are their challenges, what are their pain points. Only then you will be heard. Only when they will be ready to welcome you in their network. So show empathy to your LinkedIn networking effort. They say like empathy is a medicine to world need. I would say empathy is a medicine to your LinkedIn networking need. Show empathy. Try to understand and listen what are the needs of the person that you're connecting with, and then genuinely connect and offer value around their goals. When you become a person who is there to give someone value, they will accept you with open heart because you're helping them achieve their goals. So I want you to become a LinkedIn intentional and structured network who wants to grow his network organically and who wants to become a valued partner. And that is the basics of how relationship building is done offline. So can we have a next slide, please? Okay, so now here we are talking about LinkedIn etiquettes, because you are getting onto a LinkedIn world. You need to know what are LinkedIn do's and don'ts. First thing is that LinkedIn is no longer a platform of perfection. This is no longer a platform. It's not a job search website anywhere where the job seekers and recruiters comes and then the jobs get filled. No, it is a professional networking platform where professionals are coming, they're posting about it, other professionals are coming, e-conversations are happening through comment communication, through email communication, and basically community thrives. So that is what LinkedIn platform is all about. It is basically a professional networking platform. So it's not about, even in that professional networking platform, it's not about perfection. What is important is that you need to reflect real you as a professional, your authentic professional you do not need a perfect picture to put on LinkedIn, but it needs to be good enough that if you want to be perceived as someone, it needs to be professional enough, and you can do that all through basically your camera lens. You can easily do that. But important thing is that you need to reflect real you through your digital presence. You need to focus on progress rather than perfection, because as a starter or as a beginner, we do analysis paralysis. We say, oh my God, is this a perfect English? Is this a perfect picture? What is important is that, yes, it needs to be professional looking picture. It needs not to be a picture. I will show another picture that should not be the one. But what is important is that you reflect your expertise through your content and through your engagement. Second is that LinkedIn is no longer about likes. It's not a number game. It's about building sustainable relationships and connections with the audience. Whatever content you produce, don't go into number game, because right now as a newcomer to Canada job seeker, you want to create content that whoever comes onto your profile, they consider you as a thought leader. So don't go into the number game, that how many likes you got. Keep yourself focused. Third is that it's no longer about impressing anyone. It's about making a professional impact. I've already told you, don't go into number game. Think about professional impact that you are creating as a professional, let's say as a Khatija, as a social media consultant, or anyone as a business analyst. Also, it's also not about you, it's more about them. It's more about your community, what value you are giving to them. And when it comes to LinkedIn networking, when you're connecting with qualified LinkedIn professionals, Canadian professional, it's all about how you can help them achieve their goals. Only then they will like you, they will know you, they will like you, and you will become a trusted partner. So these are LinkedIn value mindset etiquettes that you need to be mindful of. Only then you will reap benefits. Can we have next slide, please? So these are some pictures. So when you think about Facebook, Pinterest, or any informal social media network, because I'm a social media consultant, I can very clearly tell you, we talk about connecting with our family and friends. That's an inner circle. So you can be all casual, all informal. You can take a selfie of you eating up a donut, or at your home, in your living room. That is perfectly fine. In your PJs, you can do that. But when it comes, can we have next slide, please? So, but when we come to LinkedIn, you need to have a professional mindset. So if you are thinking about donut on LinkedIn, on Facebook, you can say, I like donut, and you can take a selfie like the way it was shown in the previous slide. But when you come on LinkedIn, donut needs to have a professional goal. Either you are thinking of opening a donut franchise, or you're looking for a job, or you are talking about of your 3 years experience in donut making. Basically, whatever topic you want to talk about on LinkedIn, it needs to be all in professional mindset, professional setting. So you need to have a professional goal to be on LinkedIn. So this is the main goal. And even if you see the picture difference, yes, previous picture was like a selfie, but here it's more of a professional setting, but product is the donut itself. See, so that's the difference between how you need to portray and come on LinkedIn with a professional mindset. Can we have next slide, please? Okay, so coming very clear into what are the LinkedIn networking steps that you need to take. I want all my newcomers and pre-arrival immigrant community to be strategic LinkedIn networkers who follow a structured process, because again, we have limited time, energy, and resources. For example, you said that, Khatija, I am going to give 3 hours in a week, and I'm going to give 1 hour each day for 3 days. Perfect, bingo. You have a goal to network. First step is that you need to know what is the landscape that you're networking with. What are the networking rules with the people that you're connecting with, how they will perceive you. I've told all about this. I've told you in previous slide what are the LinkedIn values, what are the Canadian communication and professional mindset. I've talked a little bit about this. I will talk a little bit about Canadian communication in upcoming slides. But what is important is that you need to know Canadian communication. You need to approach Canadian professionals with Canadian communications. You need to approach Canadian professionals with the same approach that they are expecting you to approach them with the sustainable relationship building. And the third gap which I see newcomers have, that they don't know how LinkedIn works. And I've already told you about LinkedIn etiquette. So you're ready with the first step. The second step is basically you need to define clearly your networking goal. I want you to write a statement. What is your networking goal? You want to connect with this industry people, you want to connect with these company people. So whatever your networking goal is, write it clearly down, industry specific or company specific. Third step is that after you have identified that you want to connect with these people, then these in space people, then you filter them out through LinkedIn search and identify the names basically who are active on LinkedIn. So that's the first step. That for example, let's say you want to connect with these 10 LinkedIn humans who are within the space that you want to basically have whatever professional goal you have. Then you clearly have the people that you want to network, the qualified Canadian professionals that you want to network with. Then the fourth step comes, how you should approach them. Here, what I will say very make or break is your customized communication. Please do not have a filler or fluffy statement when you approach them, because you will be putting that Canadian professional completely off. Because predominantly life right now, post COVID, when things are slowly opening up, People are so busy with their personal and professional goals. People are so busy with so many things, right? So they want to have very customized communication while you're approaching them, and with what specific ask. If you are writing fluffy statements, if you're very generic, if you're very open-ended, you are basically delaying them in replying to you. And when there is a delayed response, forget it, they will never reply back to you. This is a make or break for any starters or newcomers, pre-arrival immigrant, or any starters on LinkedIn right now. If you want them to reply back to you, please highly customize communication with specific ask. So, and how you should approach them, it should never be about that I'm here to take something from you. And it should never be at I'm here for a job, I'm here for you to give me a referral, I am here for you to review my resume, I'm here for you to review my LinkedIn profile. Never ever. I want you to connect with the intention that you want to join their network, to learn from them, to learn about their career path, to learn about the company, to learn about the space as an emerging professional. You are here to learn from their experiences, and you are here to give value. So it's like a give and the starting point of the relationship is like give and take. You are here to give value around their professional goals, and you're here to learn from their experiences. So when this is the approach as a first timer, they will be open to accept you. And please, whatever written communication you're sending as a first timer, the connection request that you send, and after a relationship building of 2 to 3 weeks, you send ask email for that 15 minutes informational interview. Please be highly customized. I cannot stress more on this. And exhibit in your communication that you know them, because their digital presence will introduce them to you as a professional. What are their interests, what are their needs? So try to create that association that you know their story. So this is the very important part, customized communication at every step of the way of relationship building. Step 5 is that once you have connected, they have opened their network, they have accepted you as a stranger, you are still a stranger, but you need to nurture that relationship. Like, I get so many connection requests. I would know I would get so many after this as well. But what I feel is that they just connect with me and there is no relationship building. And how relationship building is done, that you need to be in front of that person over a period of time and show your intent that you are here to help them achieve their goals. And how you can do that is, you can, what if they're creating content, you can do thoughtful comment communication, you can like and share their content, you can send email around the professional goals that they have. So there are so many ways that you can kind of do digital tracing and try to be of value to their professional goals. So please try not merely connect, nurture that relationship over those digital interactions. And please don't again go with a big ask that can you be a referral partner for me, there is a job opening, can you be a referral, can you please introduce me? My suggested way is that invest at least 2 to 3 weeks of 20 to 25 digital interactions to being a person who moves from being a stranger to being known, to being liked, to being trusted. And it's an online trust journey. It doesn't happen in one day. At least it takes 2 to 3 weeks of that digital interactions. And there can be a situation where you don't have time and you need to make a move. So again, you can go for a direct ask. Right now during COVID-19, people are operating from very human space, so you can go for a direct ask. But please again, coming back to the customized communication, specifically write what you want from them very clearly when you're doing that outreach. So I cannot stress importance of customized communication, that a lot of newcomers get rejected because, or don't get answers basically because their communication is very fluffy, very open-ended. So this is the step I want you to follow and be intentional of when you're connecting with Canadian professionals. Can we have next slide, please? Okay, and while you're doing all of these 5 steps, remember, tell your mind every time you sit to do that digital interactions or that relationship building. Relationship means mutual respect and care, which comes in layers over a period of time. You cannot get results in 1 day or 2 day. You will start getting results. They will start commenting with you, they will start replying back to you. You can even see that those people are coming onto your profile, because LinkedIn offers that feature that who has viewed your profile. So these are all signals that they are slowly you're moving from being stranger to being known, to being liked, to being trusted. These are small signals, but it's all about mutual care and respect in layers over a period of time. Never ever ask for a referral, job, or resume review in your first connection request. You will not hear from them. And don't even if let's say you are giving 3 hours in a day and you're approaching few people but you are not getting replies, don't take rejection personally. I see so many newcomers take rejection personally and they just leave LinkedIn. No, please don't take that personally. Move on with your other qualified Canadian professionals. Keep your networking pipeline filled up and knock every door in the right way, with the right mindset, with the right values, because I've literally told you about how the values and Canadian professionals react basically. Next slide, please. So a little bit about Canadian communication. It's a whole chapter in itself. But what is important is that as newcomers to Canada, there are certain communication rules that we carry of our origin countries. But here in Canada, I see predominantly one of the cultural shock that comes is that you need to be very direct, positive, and respectful. Like where I come from in Asia, we don't call our seniors or elders with a direct name. We always say sir or madam. Here it is a big no-no. Don't say sir or madam, because when you put this, you are sending signal to the other person that you are not from Canada, and you are basically putting yourself in a not likable situation. So what works in Canadian communication when you're approaching the other person is use the first name. It's pretty okay to call even the elders to approach them by their first name. It's a very, very modus operandi over here. Say if you're sending a connection request, you can start with their first name. It's very acceptable over here. Nobody would be offended. Use euphemism, because you need to do that comment communication in mails, customized communication. Use euphemism. Be tactful and diplomatic. As I said, recruiters are going through your comment communication as well to identify your personal professional values, whether you will be a good cultural fit. So please be very tactful. What you say, be thoughtful, be insightful, you can agree to disagree, but in a respectful manner, that you are giving the other person space to walk out respectfully. And never ever, Canadians will never ever express negativity upfront. Well, online world is different. There you might see a lot of trolls, but I don't want you to be negative, because again, your actions are being monitored by recruiters. I want you to be respectful. Express your point of view. Like LinkedIn loves differing point of views, but you can say that I agree to disagree, and these are my XYZ facts. I completely hear where you're coming from, but this is my 2 bits, and just leave respectfully. And please remember to say thank you, show gratitude, show empathy, say thank you, use words like please, thank you, I'm sorry. Canadians are remembered for saying, apologizing and say I'm sorry. So be grateful and be ready to apologize if there is a space. People love who are empathetic and compassionate over here. So you can display all of this online. I would strongly recommend all newcomers and pre-arrival immigrant to start watching Canadian content, to attuning your language and even written language according to Canadian language terms and communications, because believe you me, there are industry specific terms and communications, and even lingo itself is so different, and I had literally had to work upon it consciously. I would strongly suggest to take a Canadian communication and workplace culture courses from any newcomer settlement agency. You can approach ACCES if they have one. So that is it. Can we have the next slide? I think so. This is the last slide. I'm just resuming. Yes, this is the last slide. I send all my best wishes to you. You can start off with me as your first Canadian professional content. Send that customized communication to me, and I would love to connect with you. And you can follow me on any of these social media handles, predominantly LinkedIn. I sleep, drink, and eat LinkedIn. So connect with me there. I will be talking more about this in detail through my content, and plus we can do one-on-one as well if you like. But please do stay conversational, and I look forward to continuing the conversation from here to my other social media handles. Thank you so much, and I'll take on questions now.
Thank you, Khadija, again for an amazing session. Questions are coming in. So everyone, we have a few minutes so we can quickly answer some questions. Yes, people want to know if you cannot get the slide decks, but you can get the recordings. You already have received 2, and this one you can also view by going back on the registration link. I would give it a few hours before the recording is ready. All right. Can we share other people's posts even if you're not creating the content?
Resharing, basically they're talking about curating the content. That's the word that's used in our space, curating, that you are not originally creating content, but LinkedIn is basically a cookie cutter platform. It has its own LinkedIn features and LinkedIn algorithm that you need to speak with. So how it works over here, if you are resharing someone else's post, you might not be very well liked by that's very well liked by LinkedIn algorithm. It's very strange, but that's how it is right now. As of the moment, LinkedIn algorithm, if you're sharing someone else's content, you might not come in front of much more wider network. How to work around that? There is always working around. So how you can work around that is that you can probably take a snapshot of that piece of content, upload it natively, upload the visual of that screenshot natively, and talk about what you really liked about that post, and then say that the original post created by, tag that person, give full credits to that person is, and then share the link of that post. Because LinkedIn post, if you go on any post and click on the 3 button on the top right, it will give you copy the link. So copy that link to that post, tag that person, and upload the visual screenshot of that post natively. Because this is right now how LinkedIn algorithm works. It does not scale reshared content much, either on a personal profile or a page. So this is another way of working around, because LinkedIn algorithm works native content. What is native content? Which is originally put as a text or uploaded as a visual. So this is a way of working around with LinkedIn algorithm while giving credits to the original writer. And please, please, please do share what one specific piece of content you loved with, any insightful thought which basically makes you stand out. Don't just reshare. Write a thought of what you really liked, because that will stand you apart with other professionals who are just resharing.
Thank you. Reading the next question here. What's a good heading or headline for a professional job seeker? Should it say newcomer, looking for opportunities?
Okay, I think so. You're speaking about the tagline.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a very, very good question, and thank you for bringing that up, whoever brought that up. This is the one common mistake I see newcomers to Canada making it. Please, 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 you have 120 characters in your tagline. Okay, let me tell you how it works. Okay, so when somebody is looking for any professional on LinkedIn, any decision maker, whether it be hiring manager or recruiter, they put certain keywords. So let's say I'm a social media consultant, and social media, they are looking for a social media consultant. So they'll go on LinkedIn search and they will put social media consultant. And a list of people who have this word with high keyword density will come in front of them. Now, 3 things comes in that list where I am appearing, and there are so many competitors appearing in that search. 3 things comes for each profile: the picture, the name, and your tagline. Don't waste your 120 characters of pitching yourself at that moment in front of recruiters in writing words like actively seeking opportunity, open to new opportunities, newcomers to Canada. Use that tagline or 120 characters to pitch the value that you can bring on table. Like, for example, if you go on my tagline, I clearly say that I teach LinkedIn to newcomers to Canada with empathy. Then I have that I create organic social media content and community experiences for small businesses to grow organically. So clearly what I'm using that line in that LinkedIn search where my competitors are coming, I have convinced my decision maker to at least come and click my profile. Now just imagine in that profile, I'll just write, I'll write open to new opportunities, newcomer to Canada seeking new opportunities. I am wasting that real estate where I can pitch myself in convincing the decision makers to choose me over the others. So what is the best practice? Use those 120 characters to pitch yourself on what value you bring on the table first. You can do that in terms of just put in keywords, divider, and other keywords, like for example, social media consultant divider, then organic content creation divided, online community experiences. I can do it this way, or you can do a short slogan which talks about my keyword experience plus with unique me. Like I say, I teach LinkedIn to newcomers to Canada with empathy. For example, if it's a business analyst, you can say that passionate business analyst with keen eye on number behavior. So basically what I'm trying to say is use that 120 characters to sell your skills. Don't write open to new opportunity, newcomers to Canada. Don't do that. How you can work around is that LinkedIn has enabled a feature called open to work. So you can enable that, and that recruiters or the public can see. So this is my answer, that please use tagline, not to write newcomers to Canada or Canadian, having Canadian PR, looking for new opportunities. Use that 120 characters of tagline to sell what value you bring on table. So I hope I have answered that.
Thank you so much again. Next question here is, so let's say, you've reached out to someone, you've connected and you've sent them a message and they're not responding. Is it too pushy to send another message?
Okay, here I would say give some time. Like for example, there is one person, let's say somebody has identified me as a qualified Canadian professional that he or she wants to network with. So what I advise is that first start following them. Interact with them over a period of time. Let's say 1 week they post, because I post almost daily. So you start that e-conversation, because when you start that e-conversation through comment communication, you are kind of your name start appearing in front of the reader, in front of me. So I will remember you. Then after a week of e-communication, then send a highly customized communication. I have already told you about that. Once you have, and they will remember you at that point in time. When you send the highly customized, they will accept you, but give them some time, because people are really busy. Once you send a connection request, wait for at least 2 to 3 days for them to accept, because like in my connection request, there can be 100 connection requests and I don't have time because I have my day job, right? So give at least 2 to 3 days of the connection request to be accepted. After that, keep on interacting and nurturing that relationship. And then if you send any 15-minute informational coffee interview specific ask email and still they are not replying back, you can give them you can follow up with them after a week at least. Give them a week to reply back to you, because if you're again, it depends on how you have framed your because I get okay, I'll give you an example. I recently got so many emails in mails where newcomers are calling me that, Khatija, can you help up with our job search strategy? Now this is such an open-ended question. Like I cannot reply back to you. This is, you are kind of convincing me to delay the response, because I only have 1 minute to reply back to you. So go for specific asks. But yes, you can follow up. Answer to your question is that follow up after a week. And still, if they are not replying back, I would suggest move on. That would be my suggestion. Follow after a week. But during that time, keep that comment communication on. If that person is replying back to you on the communication, it means probably he or she is busy to reply back to you personally, but relationship is moving on. So if you get the relationship that he is willing to move on with the relationship, probably you can send a second follow-up after another 1 week, just as a reminder, as a friendly reminder without being pushy. So that's my answer to your question.
Thank you, Khadija. We have time for one more question. Is it worth it to pay for premium LinkedIn?
Oh, this is the most question. Like, okay, I answer this question as, just imagine you have to rent a place, okay, and it's really expensive. Will you rent a place when you're not ready with your products and services, when you're not ready with the people who will be selling those products and services? So LinkedIn Premium, just treat LinkedIn Premium as a place that you will be renting on a monthly basis, because you will be paying $29 plus every month if you're taking the business professionals one. So before renting that place, I would highly suggest that you do step one, which is your LinkedIn profile optimization. Step two, you have some content, because you can do that with the free trial version. And then once you have your home ready and when you're ready to host the party, then go for LinkedIn Premiership, because LinkedIn Premium membership allows you to have power search. It allows you to send direct emails. So it's really good for outreaching. Before that outreaching, renting that place, make sure the step one, step two is ready.
Sorry, thank you, Khadija. So yeah, that's all the time we have today for questions. Khadija will make a comeback soon, so stay tuned for her next webinar coming up. And again, you have links to watching her first, second, and this is the third webinar for her three-part series. And you've got her information in front of you on the screen. You can quickly take a screenshot or whatever you need to and get in touch with her if you have any more questions. Or like she said, you know, it's so nice of her to you know, let people reach out to her and, you know, be their pretty much your first contact in Canada, maybe, who knows, right? So thank you so much, Khadija. You have been so generous. I'm going to give you a few seconds to wrap up and say what you need to, and then I'll go over my slides.
Great. Thank you so much. It was a great opportunity to share the three-step process, but definitely I am coming back with more webinars, as Sonia said, to keep a watch on ACCES website. And it's a great pleasure in empowering newcomers, because yesterday I was just celebrating one of my community members. She is a newcomer to Canada. She earned a referral through LinkedIn to land her first job in Canada during COVID-19. So there is a silver lining. Don't get discouraged. There is a silver lining, but you need to do it right in an organic and genuine way to become a referral partner. And I will be happy to continue the conversation, because whatever I have shared in ACCES webinar, it's just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much deep down inside. Let's continue the conversation on LinkedIn. I'll be so happy to help you. That is from me, from my side. I'll see you on LinkedIn now. Bye.
Thank you so much, Khadija. You can see how generous she's being. So, you know, go connect with her and get in touch with her. We've got our next webinar coming up this week on Wednesday called Working in Canada. So experience, opportunities, and challenges. So it's brought to you by Sanover, who works in the pharmaceutical industry, and she'd like to speak to everyone in general about the experiences and challenges you might face working in Canada. And if you want to sign up for future webinars, go to accessemployment.ca/online event series and register for webinars. You can also check out our e-resources. So go to e-access. It's a tab on the right if you go to our website. and you can see tons and tons of resources that we've posted, and they've more because of COVID. We've been putting more, we're more active on there as well. You can see past webinars that are posted there as well. You can practice your English conversation skills by joining our online Talk English cafes. We have double or tripled the sessions that we had due to high demand. So check those out too, accessemployment.ca/Talk English Cafe. And all of our bridging programs are currently being held online. So I would think it's a better thing because you don't have to commute to an office. You can attend the whole program sitting at home. So it's great because I know sometimes we have people traveling all the way from Hamilton all the way to Brampton, and it's a lot. So it's nice that people are able to do this from home. And if you like to speak to an employment consultant, just give us a call your closest location, and somebody will be able to start helping you with your job search. And for pre-arrival, I mentioned if you are in any of these sectors, you can email cec@accessemployment.ca, and they can see if you're eligible, and they'll get you started with your job search before arriving in Canada. And as Khatija was talking about the importance of social media, we are very active on social media, so check us out on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook to find out what's happening here at ACCES. And please do fill out the survey at the end of the webinar. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending, and a very big thank you to Khatija for coming back and continuing to coming back again. Thank you, Khatija. Everyone.
Thank you so much, Sonia. I'll see you next month, hopefully.
Awesome. Sounds good. Everyone have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.